Hi everyone, Peacemaker here. Welcome once again to SkinClub community and YouTube channel. Another edition of PGL Masters Bucharest, right? With the 16 teams participating, and another big event with a large prize pool, $1,250,000. It's going to be happening from October 26th until November 1st in Bucharest, Romania, obviously. And today we're going to talk about the tournament format, the teams participating, who are the favorites, who are the least favorites, who could be upsetting some of the teams, and then obviously we're gonna do our tier list as we normally do. So stay tuned because there's a lot of information and a lot of exciting things in this video. And obviously as well, if you haven't watched any of the other videos that we have here in the SkinClub community channel, make sure you watch. There's a lot of articles, there's a lot of cool videos and a lot of content for you guys, fans of Counter-Strike. And well, today, not less important, we're gonna talk about this tournament, and then stay tuned because there's IM coming, and there's obviously a massive coverage from SkinClub with the major, upcoming major that's going to be happening as well by the end of November, right? That's when the major starts, and then we go all the way until close to Christmas, until December. And I already talked about prize pool, the dates, and then we have the teams, right? So the best ranked team in this one, Aurora, coming from Thunder Peak, who didn't reach the grand finals, but they were very competitive, and I think that if they don't win this event or they get close of winning this event, that would be a massive alert for them because they are simply the best ranked team and one of the heavy favorites here. So it is sort of a obligation that they, at least in my eyes, make it to the playoffs and go further. The same sort of happens with 3D Max, who's coming from the CS Asia Championship and who's been playing very, very well lately. So we have 3D Max, grand finalists of CS Asia, ended up losing to Legacy, who is also in the show. We're going to talk about them in a second. We have Liquid with a roster change, with Elish playing. This is their second event, if I'm not mistaken. We have Astralis in their second or third event with Magisk. We have Pain Gaming, who's been on a massive struggle lately. And actually, they didn't do well in CS Asia either. And they have a lot of motivation to prove themselves right before the major, right? We have Legacy with a lot of momentum coming to this one. They just won the CS Asia tournament against 3D Max, and let's see what kind of Legacy arrives, right? The lazy one coming from Asia, jet lagged and all of that, or the very motivated one who's going to carry the momentum and maybe reach another grand finals. Who knows? Then we have Game Elysian, who's just had a roster change as well. They brought Hypex, and the last few results from them, especially the CS Asia one, was a massive yikes. We have Gentlemates, who's been on a rise, actually. They have been playing really, really well. They did very well in Pro League. Had some weeks now to practice during Thunder Peak, so we'll see how it goes. We have Heroic, with another team with a roster change, a recent roster change with Alcaren. We have Fnatic, another team who's been on Fnatic has a lot of pressure on their shoulders after the decision of removing Cypher permanently until the end of the year, and they have Jacasmo. They became a Ukrainian roster now with 3 Ukrainians. We'll see how that one goes. We have NIP, Bait, full Ukrainian roster, who's been playing decent well lately. Same goes for NIP, also on a rise. We have MIBR without Klim, right? We have the confirmation that Klim won't be playing this event. It's going to be BRN from the Academy team. So they actually have 2 BRNs now on the team. BRN Zen and BRN. It's going to be a funny one to see how people are gonna cast them. We have MIBR, we have Batboom, Sol, another appearance from the Portuguese team of Sol, and then we have FlyQuest, who's been not playing very well lately under after JKS joined. We'll see how that one goes in this tournament as well. So basically, there's a lot of teams here with a lot of teams that just made roster changes, a lot of teams looking for points, a lot of teams with the obligation to prove themselves. Let's put it like that. And a lot of teams that are hungry to prove themselves, to have a chance of winning a lot of points in a massive event like this, with a massive prize pool, without some of the best teams in the world. So what an opportunity for some of these teams to actually surprise, right? And maybe even reach playoffs for the first time. And maybe even will lift a trophy for the first time when you don't have the likes of Spirit, Vitality, Furia, and those type of teams, right? So I think it's a very interesting format with a very interesting lineup of teams. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what happens. Again, Swiss format, so you got to win 3 matches to advance to playoffs, and you got to lose 3 matches to be out and eliminated from the tournament. So again, it's a format that helps the underdogs, right? There's no upset potential, but to some extent, you have to lose 3 matches in order to be eliminated, instead of like the double elimination standard format where you lose 2, you're out. And, you know, in some of these big events, you're going to facing very strong opponents when you are these underdog teams, and then you basically find yourself in an elimination match right off the bat in the second or third day of an event with a lot of pressure on your shoulders. So this one with lesser, stronger oppositions in a Swiss format is basically like a dream coming true for some of these teams, and that's what I'm looking forward to see in this particular event, right? And then now, since we talked about all of the teams, I think we're ready to do the thing we like the most, the thing you guys like the most, which is the tier list. And here we have all the teams participating. And yeah, we have the ranks as well, which actually, let me see if I can do a little zoom. I think it's going to be easier. Yeah, this should be good for you guys. Yeah. So we have the Dracula Tour as usual. Whenever we have a tournament in Romania, we always have the teams that are just going to Romania for the Dracula Tour and sightseeing. Basically, we have the upset potential, we have the could make it, which is a difference, right? These teams from upset potential is only the teams that we think they can upset, but they couldn't make it to the favorites. Like, they can just, do a little damage and then probably won't make it to the playoffs. Then we have the could make it, we have the favorites, and we have the easy champions. And by the way, I just need to double check because we have how many teams going through to the playoffs, right? We have 16 teams participating, which means 8 teams going through the playoffs, right? Brackets, playoffs. Yeah, that's accurate. 8 teams in total going to the quarterfinals. All right, cool. So we have to put 8 teams here in the favorites, and then 7 teams literally, and then the easy champions. Who, by the way, is not really easy champions in this one, right? Because it's a very like the teams participating in this one are very close to each other, right? Anybody can beat anybody in this particular one, but let's try our best. And I guess we can start all the way in the bottom from MIBR to all the way until Aurora, and then let's see if it works like that. So we can start with MIBR, and right off the bat, I'm just gonna say that MIBR, with a standing, with lack of practice, and with one of the best players in the roster, and with all their AWPer, by the way. BRN is not an AWPer, just for information, so I don't know who's going to be AWPing. I don't know what they're going to do, and quite honest, I don't see them having much chances against some of these teams, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that generally I think they could only potentially upset 2 teams here, and I'm just going to gamble and say that they probably won't face each other. So MIBR is my first Dracula team. I think they're just going to be there and try their best, but it's just too much to ask from a team who just went until under 2 roster changes, that which one of them is not going to play. So it might be our Dracula Tour. Then we have NIP. NIP is definitely the type of team that could upset. But not only that, I think they could make it. And they actually could be one of the favorites as well. So I'm going to, for now, leave them in the could make it. But I could see them actually making... I could see them actually as favorites, depending on how well they play. Seoul is definitely the type of team that has upset potential, but that I don't think that could actually make it to the playoffs. But they have potential. They already proved themselves over and over again. They have a young roster, talented, capable of upsetting, but not capable of going through in a tournament with this type of teams. That's the way I see it. But they're certainly capable of, maybe beating Gentlemates in a sort of local matchup against the Spanish guys. They could potentially beat the likes of like Bat Boom, for example, FlyQuest, Bait. I could see them upsetting them as well. I could see them having a close match against the likes of Heroic, maybe the Liquid themselves, who's been a roster that hasn't been together for that long. So yeah, I'm gonna leave Seoul in upside potential for now, and then just because of firepower, I think some of these teams could, would be the favorites against them. So upside potential for them. Liquid, same goes for them. Honestly, like even though they have, actually, I'm gonna put them on could make it simply because of the boost from having Elysian in the roster and the ups and the firepower they have in the team. I think they could actually make it in a pool like this. Pain Gaming, they are the type of team that could definitely upset, but I don't see Pain Gaming making it through right now. Not with the counterstrike that they have played in the last few events. We have Heroic, who Heroic is a rough one. Heroic is the could make it, but I would put them less favorites than NIP and Liquid, to be honest. Game Elysian, it depends. What kind of Game Elysian? Is it the Game Elysian from CS Asia? Because if so, they have to be on could make it instead of being the favorites, right? And that's gonna leave us with the 9 teams already. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna go ahead and put NIP on top on one of the favorites because I think they play solid Counter-Strike right now. With Snappy coming back to the roster right now. So yeah, Game Elysian, I'm gonna put them on could make it for now, even though I think I might change it. Gentlemates after Pro League, they have to be one of the favorites. Definitely playoff contenders. Legacy, absolutely favorites. Bet Boom, again, it depends what kind of Bet Boom, but yeah. Oh, actually, we have 2 legacies. I just realized, but anyway, Bet Boom. That's a rough one. I'm gonna say they have been together for quite some time. They have a decent map pool, so I'm gonna put them on favorites to make it to the playoffs. Fnatic, from what they've shown and the amount of maps they have played lately, and them qualifying to the major, I think this is gonna be a good prep for them prior to the major. I think they arrive very motivated, so gonna put them on favorites for now. FlyQuest, I'm gonna leave them on upset potential. I think they are in this type of, tier teams. Bait, how many teams do we have? We have 6, right? And it's 8 for the favorites. So I definitely have to put one of these teams down to could make it. Aurora, I mean, obviously, I'm just going to go ahead and already put 3D Max in the pool here, all the way in the top. I'm going to put Aurora here as well. And that's going to leave us with Astralis, who, in my opinion, is also going to make it to the playoffs. And I think there are more favorites than the likes of Bet Boom, Bait, and those. Even though Bait could potentially could potentially beat Astralis. Actually, Astralis is a good one. Like I think I'm very positive about these 6 teams: Aurora, NIP, 3D Max, Gentlemates, Legacy all the way here on the top because they are one of the favorites, and then that comes with the NIP, Gentlemates, Fnatic, and then I'm in between Bet Boom, Astralis, and Bait. We have 9 teams, which means I have to put 1 team on the could make it, and that is going to be Bet Boom. Yeah, that's going to be Bet Boom. And I think here we have our playoffs favorites. We have 8 teams, and then we have to select who are the champions. And based on what I've seen lately, Counter-Strike played and everything, I think Gentlemates could upset anyone from these teams. That's for sure. Legacy has shown a strong map pool and very solid Counter-Strike, but I always find it challenging to see Legacy and these teams that just won an event winning a back-to-back event, especially one like this. So I think the likes of Aurora and 3D Max, they arrive very hungry, and they also have a very solid map pool. Aurora specifically are the favorites. Can they actually do it though? Because it just always feels like something happens and they end up losing this, right? And IP has been in a Philadelphia finals, if I'm not mistaken, before. I don't know, like this is a tough one because it comes down to experience as well. Obviously, it comes down to firepower, map pool. Remember that the grand final is BO5, so we gotta take that into consideration when picking the champions. who has the strongest map pool out of these teams, right? I would say that probably Aurora, Legacy, and Gentlemates also has a very strong map pool. Like, honestly, Gentlemates could be a massive surprise here, but I don't know. Like, I could definitely see them losing to the likes of Legacy. Like, you know, I hate picking Aurora just because they always disappoint me when it matters the most. But they should be the favorites. Like, the problem is that when they faced against 3D Max, they actually lost to them in a BO3, right? That's the last time they played against each other. So it really comes down to what type of. I think Aurora actually reached the grand final of a PGL event before. Didn't they lose to Mongols, if I'm not mistaken? Actually, let me just double check that, because if they did, I'm just gonna game on Aurora. And yeah, I mean, even though they always disappoint me, but I'm just gonna gamble that they somehow, this time around, without the Mongols in it, that they will actually find a way to make it. And was it they lost the grand finals? Wait, hold on. This is against Fury. Third place decider, yeah. Third place decider. This was the semi. Oh, they lost on the semis to Astralis, and they also lost to the Mongols in the quarterfinals. Oh, they actually beat the Mongols in the quarterfinals. Yeah, they lost to Astralis. Oh my god, that's a yikes. Was it Blast Bounty? No. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's always like this. Like, it literally is always like this. They had a very competitive third place decider just now against the Mongols. The Mongols not the. I mean, they just went to a roster change. 3D Max, can they actually do it? Like, I feel like they have the mentality. I feel like they have the potential, but in a BO5 against Legacy, honestly, I think they just straight up lose again. That's a tough one. They beat Liquid though, Fnatic. They always lose a map. Like, they don't have a very solid map pool. Like, honestly, it really is between Gentlemates, Legacy, and Aurora. And I just have to pick Aurora, but we'll see after the tournament, because I think something is going to happen, and it's going to be between Legacy and Gentlemates. Somehow, 3D Max is also going to lose. Honestly, I think 3D Max is going to lose to Gentlemates. We'll see. That's my bold prediction. I think Gentlemates is going to shock everyone in this tournament, go very, very far, and potentially even win the whole thing. Together with NIP, actually. But I think Gentlemates are more solid. We'll see. We'll see. Well, going to leave you guys like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys agree with the tier list. Obviously, leave your comments below. Click the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.